Everybody hurry up. Can you bow? Very nice. All right, in today's class, we're going to start by warming up. After we warm up, we're going to work on some elbow strikes, different movements that we're going to use to evade being attacked by someone. We'll work on our front stances, and then we'll work on our one-steps and our forms from the new curriculum. Remember, starting today, we're working on the new curriculum for the whole entire next cycle, which is April, May, and June. I know that we're still in March, but we're going to start working on that curriculum so that at the end of the time in testing in June, we'll be able to know everything. After that, I got a really great challenge for you. Yep. Can you bow? Good. All right, we're going to start off with 10 jumping jacks. Put your feet together, hands by your side. Get ready, 10 jumping jacks. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Next, I want you to do 5 push-ups. So start by laying down on your stomachs. Put your hands next to your body as close as you can. Put your feet close together. Put your chin down. Keep your back very straight and push up. 1. Another one. 2. Up 3. 4. 5. Great. Now stand up. Next, I'd like you to stand in a horse stance. We're not going to work on the horse stance today, but basically you put your feet double shoulder width apart, bend your knees just like this, pull both your hands back like this. You're going to put one hand out. This is called a horse stance, and we're going to do punches. So all I want you to do is squeeze your fists, punch, switching back and forth with as much strength as you can. You can go as fast as you want, as long as they don't look too small. I want big, strong punches as fast as you can for 30 seconds. Ready? Bend your knees. Go. Good, and stop. Very nice. All right, feet together. All right, the next thing that I want to work on is we're going to work on elbow strikes. All right, there's some of the techniques and things we're going to be doing, the movements today, involve our elbow strikes. So let's start with your feet apart. Do it, Jimmy. All right, there's a couple different ways we can strike with the elbow. For now, put one foot in front of you. Make your fighting stance, if you remember that. Take the arm that's in front of you. I want you to put your palm down, keep your hand in a fist, and your elbow is going to come across. So you pull your hand in and pull straight across. Imagine that you're trying to hit a target at the same time. You don't use your own hand, but put your elbow straight in front. Look right at me, aim at me on the screen, and elbow straight towards me. So pull it back, and one more time. Palm down, even with your hand closed, pull straight across. Let's do 5 of those. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now if you wind up striking a target, one thing to remember is that we don't hit with the elbow point. We want to hit with the part right under the elbow, closer down towards your hand. There's a little space right here. If you turn your hand this way, it pushes out these muscles and you're not able to hit with the bone as well. So turn your hand, palm down, so it kind of pulls those muscles out of the way. So the bone of your arm, called the ulna bone, is exposed, and you're going to hit with that part as close to the elbow as possible. Don't put too farther down, but don't hit with the actual elbow point. All right, so now let's switch your feet. Put the other foot in front. Take your hand, palm down, bring it straight across, aim right at me. Make sure you're looking. Pull straight back, look right at me. Elbow 1. Pull it again. Let's do it again. 2. Do it again. 3, 4, and 5. Good. All right, go back to ready position. Another elbow strike that we can do is if we use our elbow, and this time we push into a person. So a lot of our one-steps use that technique. So put one foot in front of you. Make a fist, same thing, put your palm down, but this time, pull your arm behind you without moving your body or your head. Stay looking right at me, pull your arm away from me, and now point straight at me. So pull it back and strike straight out. One more time. Good. Now get yourself ready, bend your knees. We're gonna do 5 together. Ready? 1, 2, a little harder, 3, push 4, last one, 5. Go ahead, switch your feet. Pull your arm behind you. Let's go slow. Push it up straight towards me. Stay looking right at me. Pull your hand back. Don't move your body. Just move your arm. Stay looking at me. One more time. Now let's do it strong. Ready? 1. Pull it back. Aim right at me. 2. Pull it back. 3. Get ready. 4. One more. 5. Good. And go back to ready position. Very nice. Great. Now we're going to work on our front leg kicking. All right. What I want you to do is I want you to put one foot out in front of you. We can bend your knees, make a fighting stance if you remember how to do that. All right. We're going to kick with our front leg. Our front leg gives us the opportunity to hit somebody or kick somebody in a defense situation with a little bit more speed. It doesn't necessarily go as high, or it isn't necessarily as strong as our rear leg kick, but it is fast and it allows us to have the person move from an offensive position to a defensive position. All right, so when somebody moves in close to you, you can pick your front leg, the leg that's closer to the screen, straight up, pick your knee straight up, kick straight out, and then put your foot straight back down. So if you're in a good fighting stance and your weight is backward, you should be able to pick your knee up, kick straight, and come back down with relatively easy movement. So pull back, front kick, and set down, right? There shouldn't be any landing behind you, no stepping forward. Do not use the leg that's further away. So bend both your knees. Without moving your feet, look down and see which foot is in closer to me. Whatever foot is closer to me, I want you to pick that knee up, kick, and set straight back down. Now keep your hands up for balance and protection. Now when we say go, I want you to pick your foot up quick and kick. Ready? 1. Good, I'm going to do it with you. Ready? 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, now switch your feet. Now look at your feet. Make sure you know which one the front foot is. The one that's in front of you, the one closer to me. Pick it up, kick, and put it down. All right, hands up, bend your knee. When I say go, you're gonna go as fast as you can. Let me demonstrate. Good, just like that. Now get ready to do it with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Don't get ahead of me. 4. One more. 5. Good. Great. Next, we're gonna work on our front leg roundhouse kick. Take one of your legs, put it in front of you. Once you know which foot is in front of you, look down, make sure the leg is closer to me. This time we're gonna do a front leg roundhouse kick. The roundhouse kick is where I pick my knee up. My whole entire foot is sideways or parallel to the ground, and then I'm gonna kick straight across. We wanna make sure that the leg comes straight. It can go higher, it could be a little lower, depending on your flexibility, but I wanna make sure that your leg is straight across before you kick. So put your hands up, bend your knees. Let's do a slow one. Pick your knee up. Once you pick your knee up, foot across, kick, and set down. All right, that's good practice. Now let's do it together. Pick your leg up. 1. Again, 2, 3, 4. Make sure it comes straight across. Hands up. 5. Good. Let's switch your feet. Put the other foot in front. Before we move on, check to make sure your front leg is in front of you. Pick your knee up. Kick straight across. Good. Practice one time with me. Straight. Come back. Good. All right, now let's do it together. Ready? Wait for the count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. Fantastic. Next, we're going to work on different ways of evading somebody or moving out of the way if they attack us. All right, so typically if somebody throws a punch or a kick directly at you, there's a couple different directions we can move. Obviously, we can move to the side, right? It'd be really easy to move to the side. We could move the other direction, right? Moving away from it is a good idea. Moving towards it is not a good idea. If it were coming at me low, I could move above it, but it wouldn't make sense to go below it. And if the technique is high, toward my face or chest, I might be able to go under it, but I wouldn't be able to go over it. So there's a couple of different directions we can go depending on what the technique is. All right. For now, we're going to assume that the person is trying to attack me somewhere between my belly or my chest or higher, right, towards my face. We'll say a punch for right now. So imagine somebody is punching directly at you. Maybe I'm punching directly at you. And what I want you to do is I want you to imagine stepping over to the side. So everybody take one leg and step right over to the side. Leave your other foot there, and then come straight back. All right, one more time, step over to the side, and then come back. Let's go the other way. So now if they punch, or if I punch at you, step over to the side, and come back. Step over to the side, and come back. Great. And now if they punch at us, we can also step away from it. Step away, and come back. Or with the other leg, step away, and then come back. Good. Now, in between each of those directions, right, there's many other angles that we can go. So I could step forward and to the side. I could step almost straight to the side. I could go straight. I could go backward. I could even go straight backward this direction. All right, and same thing with the other side. So let's practice that. I want you to take one leg, step forward, but move over just a little bit, and then come back. Now step straight over to the side, and come back. Good. Now step backward and to the side. And now step all the way backward this way, and come back. Now we're gonna use the other leg. Step forward to the side, come back. Step over to the side, and come back. Step backward at an angle, and come back. And step straight backward, and come back. Good. When people attack us, we don't just stand there, we don't just move, right? The first movement that we use is to get away from it. In case they're faster than us, they change directions, or any other thing, we want to make sure that we also put our hands up for protection, or sometimes we use our hands to actually do a movement to block away. So a common movement would be step forward to the side and move it over to the side, or potentially I could use that like step backward, get away from it, but also block it in case it comes after us. And the same thing for this side, and the same thing for this side. So if the technique is coming at us, we always want to keep our hands up, either in a guard position, or do an actual block or strike to keep the person from attacking us. So let's do it with a block. So put this hand up. I want you to step forward and to the side, and move your hand across. Come back. Now I want you to use the same leg, step backward. It doesn't make sense to use the same hand, so switch hands. Use this hand and move your hand away over to this side. So make an X. Bring your one hand straight across the screen just like this. One more time. Straight across. All right, now let's just keep going in circles. Take the other leg, step backward. Use the other hand to bring across. One more time, make an X. Bring your hand straight across and move it. One more time. Here. Good. And now I want you to step forward to this side. And this hand may work, but for now, let's use this hand and come straight across this way. So put this hand up and come straight across. One more time. Move quick. Good. So now if somebody were punching at you, you know 4 different directions that you could move and how you could use your hands to protect yourself at the same time. Good job. Now we're going to work on our front stances. All right. So for now, I would like you to put your feet apart, what we call shoulder width apart. Shoulder width means that the distance that your shoulder is apart, that's about how far you want to put your feet. My feet are wider than my shoulders, but right about now, there's a straight line between my shoulder and my foot on both sides. All right. So we're going to start off with our feet shoulder width apart. You're going to take your left leg, and I want you to step forward with your left leg, straight forward from where it was, right? One thing that people sometimes do is they take their foot and they step in front of the other, which is okay in certain situations, but right now, I want your foot to be over to the side. This is going to help with our stability and our balance while we work on these moves. All right, so if you notice my feet in a neutral position, right, when my feet are apart and I stand in normal or usual, my feet are apart and my toes are all pointed the same direction. All right, when I step forward, I want to make sure that the foot I'm stepping with is straight, but one common thing to check is to look back and make sure that your back foot doesn't turn sideways, right? It can move just a tiny bit, right, from here to maybe here, but any more than that, all right, I don't want that for right now, right? Don't let it turn too much. So step back, put your feet apart, check and make sure your toes are here, not here, right? Then this foot is going to step straight forward from where it is. All right, now what you should be able to do is you should be able to bend your knee, right, and lean forward just a little bit, right? When you're using your front stance and you're stepping forward in your front stance, if you start to lean forward and you realize that your heel's picking up because of your balance and it wants to pick up or wants to turn for balance, one thing that you should do is actually step farther. Most people want to step smaller so they don't lose their balance. But when I lean forward, what happens is my weight wants to go even more over top. So if I step just a little bit farther with that one foot, I can bend my knee. Now notice I said step forward with one foot, right? It doesn't make sense, it's not useful, right? If you step forward and you have to go farther, but then you move the other foot with it, right? Or you have to turn sideways to accomplish. So I want your feet apart, take one foot, step forward. Let's just try moving your foot just a tiny bit farther. Good, bend your knee. And now pull both your hands back into a chamber position. So both hands are going to be chambered. You're going to bend your knee. Now bend your knee, and if you're looking straight down at your foot, you should see your knee, and maybe you see your toes, but you want to try to move your knees far enough that you cover up most of your toes, all right, without leaning while you're sitting straight up. All right, so come back. Let's try the other leg. All right, you're gonna step forward in a comfortable position. Bend your knee. Let's try stepping just a little farther. Bend your knee. Now check back on your back foot and make sure your foot didn't turn. Make sure all your toes are facing the same direction. Your hands are here, your knee is bent, you're looking straight forward. All right, so come back. I want you to move one foot then the other. We're gonna step forward 6 times. All right, 3 on each leg. We're gonna alternate, which means we go back and forth. So stay with me, step forward. 1, bend your knee, hold it there, and come back. Now the other side, step forward, bend your knee, keep your back up straight, don't let your foot turn, and step back. Make sure your feet are straight. On this side, number 3, bend your knee, come back. The other side, number 4, bend your knee, back up straight, hands chambered, pull back, step forward. 5, on this side, bend your knee, good. And this time, take a big step without taking the other foot forward, bend your knee, and then come back. Wonderful job. Good, now ready, Chupi? We're gonna work on number 16, one-step hand techniques. All right, number 16, you're gonna take your left side and you're gonna step forward just like we do for number 6, number 11, if you know that. We're gonna make a horse stance and block straight across. So one more time, step forward with the left, make a horse stance, left hand, chop straight across. All right, from here, once you've blocked the person's wrist and you've moved it out of the way, your back arm is gonna elbow strike straight forward. So you keep your hand low and close to your body and move your elbow straight forward. Right? So once we move, the other hand just comes straight forward. A lot of people will move or step or try to go too high or move everything out of the way. All you have to do is once you step forward, push. Let's do it together. Tap your leg, step forward, push. Good. Once we do that, use this elbow, go straight into the person. All right? Now pull it back just a little bit. We're going to use the other elbow strike, right, where we hit with this part and come straight in that way. Good. Back to ready position. So just imagine for a second, don't move yet. If I were to punch at you, and you were to step over to my side and block with your hand, this hand, block my hand over out of the way. This exposes my rib cage for you to elbow strike me straight forward. I go, oof. When you hit me in the stomach and I lean this way, you're gonna take the same elbow, but the point and make it go this way, which makes it go ow, and lean away from you. All right, so one more time, take your left side, step forward, block in a horse stance. Now, as you elbow strike, switch into a front stance. Stay in a front stance, move your arm away from the person a little bit, and elbow away from you and hit them on the side. All right, one more time, number 16, step forward, block. Take your other arm, shift into a front stance, elbow, then elbow. Now we're gonna do it 3 times with me, all right? Try number 1, step forward, 1, 2, 3. Good. A little faster, try number 2, go. And now what you do at the 3rd try, as fast, as hard as you can, while still keeping it correct. Go. Great job. Great, do a chumbi. Now we're gonna work on Pyongan Sodom. Pyongan Sodom is Pyongan form number 4. All right, I'm gonna stand sideways so you can see me, all right? And I want you to turn to your left like all of our forms do, and you're gonna make a fighting stance. So take both of your hands, fingers tight, thumbs inward, and put them right down next to your side. All right, so we're gonna put your hands on chumbi, step to the left in a fighting stance, put both hands open, and now your hands are gonna come up this direction and open straight up, all right? So you can see a little bit better. I step with my fighting stance, my hands go from here, which is making a right angle, kind of like the bottom of a square. I'm gonna switch it up to the other side of the square, then I'm gonna pull my hands apart. This becomes a high block with a knife hand, and this comes an inside-outside block, right, with a knife hand. So both hands here, both hands up, and then both hands pull across. This little tiny tightening movement is very important. Some people bring their hands up and go the same direction, or they'll bring their hands up and flip them. I want your hands to come up together and then pull apart. All right, so let's stand next to me. I want you to face the same direction I am turned sideways in the room. Put your hands here, look over your shoulder. Now bring your hands up and bring it apart. If you remember Pyongan Idan, it's very similar to that motion, but we immediately put our hands down, look the other way, no fighting stance, bring your hands up and across on the other side. Once they're together, touching each other this way, pull apart very, very little, right, but very strong. Pull right here. So it's a high block with the hands open, and an inside-outside block with your hands open. All right, so go back to here. From here, put your hands down, fighting stance, block 1. Put your hands down, turn, fighting stance, block 2. Now your left foot is gonna step forward. So we're gonna step that direction. Once we step forward, you're gonna do a low X block, or a double hand low block. your right hand is going to be on top and you're going to push down. You want to make sure that when you step with this foot and you push straight down, your right hand is on top. Whatever leg I step with low X blocks or high X blocks, the back arm is always on top of this. But for right now, low X block. Now we're going to step forward into a fighting stance, and you're going to do a two-hand block. The two-hand block is where my hand is inside outside block, and my left hand is going to be supported. I'm in a fighting stance. All right, so let's start over. Go back to Jimmy. Start where we started. Now put your hands down. Look over your shoulder toward me. Block 1. Hands down. Look the other way. 2. Step forward. Right hand on top. Make sure you step to the left. Right hand on top. Make a good front stance. Then you're going to step into a fighting stance. Two-hand block. From here, continue to move your back leg forward. Your left foot goes forward, so your feet are together. Your hand that's in the block is going to come straight down over top this way, so it's straight here. And then your left arm is going to change backward. So we go from a two-hand block. This folds down, this hand pulls back at the same time. This is a chamber like in some of the other forms we've done, but a very strong. All right, let's go back to the beginning. Do it with Chubby. Fighting stance 1. Put your hands down, look over your shoulder. 2. Stepping forward in a front stance, low X block. Step forward into a fighting stance, two-hand block. Put your feet together, chamber over to the side. Now you're going to switch to this side, picking your right leg up in a side kick. Then you're going to do a side kick and a back kick. All right, so so you can see the whole ankle. It's a side kick. At the same time, we do a back fist, swing your hand across at the same time. So we're feet together, face the same way. Take your right arm down, left arm back, switch it to the other side at the same time as you pick your foot up. Once we pick our foot up, side kick and back fist, open up that hand, and then you're going to elbow strike. So your hand that just hit opens, leave it still right where it is, elbow straight across just like that. All right, we're going to cover this one more time. If you need to go through the slow version, rewind, scroll back, and follow from the slower version. This time I'm going to go a little bit faster, so once you've practiced and you can follow along at a faster speed, then use this first. Do a Chubby. Start fighting stance, block 1. Other side 2. Left side step forward, right hand on top, low X. Step forward into a fighting stance, two-hand block. Feet together, chamber across. Switch. Side kick back fist. Open up that hand, elbow. And that's all I want you to practice for now with that for. Good luck. All right, today's challenge, we're going to work on holding our leg up and doing multiple roundhouse kicks with the same leg without putting your foot down. All right, for those of you who can do a whole bunch, that's great. What I want you to do is your challenge is to do as many as you can, all right, but hopefully you'll be able to get the number of your age. So if you're 5 years old, try to do 5 roundhouse kicks without putting your foot down. All right, now one thing I do want you to be kind of picky about is I do want to make sure they're roundhouse kicks and you don't just fling your foot up in different directions. So to do the proper move, you have to pivot your foot, right, far enough behind you. It means you have to rotate it so it's facing the other way to get yourself in the right position. Then while your hands are up, I want you to roundhouse kick as many times as you can for your age while keeping your hands up. Right? The important part is that you don't let your foot drift or drop down, because then you'll wind up doing front kicks. Some people just pick their foot up and kick a bunch of times really low, right? I want your kick to be at least at your waist or your belt level, if you're wearing a belt, and I want your foot to come straight across, and I want to see how many times you can do that without having to put your foot down, without holding on to anything, right? If you need to shift your balance or jump around a little bit, I'm totally fine with that, all right? But I want your kick to be straight across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or more, all right? So try to get up to your age, all right? And if you're awesome and fantastic and can do 50 or 100, I would love to see that, all right? Good luck.